LeBron James has just made the Philadelphia 76ers one of the most dangerous teams in the NBA, and the talent surrounding him could completely change the championship picture. With Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and a collection of young athletic weapons, Philadelphia suddenly has answers for almost every defensive strategy. The biggest question now is whether this star-studded roster can stay healthy and turn its incredible potential into a championship run.
Bron is like, the king on the chessboard. He has all the right pieces to make the right moves. We all know he's a great one of the greatest basketball minds to play the game. If you give him these type of pieces to play with, I'm an early bet with them being the favorites to win. In my book, I'm not a bettor, but if I was to bet, I would bet the Sixers early. Like I said, he has Embiid. All those guys, nobody has to play 82 games. They can all spread it out. You got the combination of the hunger, the combination of wanting to prove something. A lot of people talk bad about, obviously the JBs, Bron, Embiid. You got a nice combination of guys that have a lot of fuel in the fire left to prove something this year. And again, in the playoffs, if they get to the playoffs healthy, with Brown on the court, the player he is, obviously we all know who he is. He has Tyrese Maxey as a weapon. He has JB. He doesn't have to play any defense. He can talk the entire backside on the defensive side of the ball, put guys in the right spot, and then again in fourth quarter control and manipulate and outsmart whoever's the opposite best player on their team. And he doesn't have to do it physically so much with his mind because he has better weapons around him now. Younger, athletic guys that can do a lot of and play multiple positions. And then again, if Embiid gets to the playoffs with LeBron, if he listens to LeBron and follows his lead, how he's a pro, and like I said, they get all the juju out of that organization and everything. Good karma happens for those guys. They got a great chance to get it done.
Honestly, I feel like there's an echo in here. I feel like there's an echo. Though we said the exact same thing. I'm like, let's strip it all away. I said that Jaylen Brown was the final piece of the puzzle. Like, he might have taken his time. He might have done it, but he was like, I can get a top 5 wing right here that's a two-way player. I got that point guard.
Top 5 point guard. Don't say top 5 point guard.
I said that point guard. I said that point guard.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Wherever you want, and I'm being respectful. You put him wherever you want. You got that, and for me, it's like LeBron does a great job as well as anybody, like you said, of the puzzle pieces. But I'm like, Jaylen Brown was the final puzzle piece, right? If they would have added Bron to Paul George, he wasn't doing that. Bron wasn't going to go do that. Thank you. So once Jaylen Brown, he's like, wait, y'all got Jaylen Brown, and we ain't talking about Anthony Simons. We ain't even talking about VJ Edson. We ain't
right.
even talk about those scoring machines and athletic, like VJ.
KCP,
listen, you ain't got to shoot no more shots. When I drive, you cut back door.
A pissed off Jaylen Brown. Like,
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like, the disrespect he's had throughout the summer, him, when you get players in that type of mode or they're coming off a season like that he's had, and he got so much to prove, and come on, man, it's gonna be scary for the league. I don't know.
I'm with
but
you.
other teams that they don't fit. I mean, like I said, no disrespect to anybody, but obviously Golden State, they're too old. LeBron would have had to play too much. It would have been too much on his plate. To me, Miami doesn't have enough shooting at all, so they won't be difficult to kind of get with in the playoffs. And then who was the other team? I guess Cleveland maybe so, but no, I don't see that. That's not a good fit. Him, James, and Donovan, no, that's not a good fit. But Maxey, who always plays off the ball, I think he had a play. They're talking about his niche of being able to, pass and cut off the ball, denying the basketball, the way he can shoot the basketball. Anthony Simons, like you mentioned RJ, one of my favorite underrated guards in the league, coming off the bench. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Can y'all imagine what that's going to look like next year? That pick and roll action. Because see, everybody keeps thinking about
who you talking about?
Which one?
You talking about JB, Maxey? You talking about Bron and B?
No. I'm talking about
Bron and JB.
But the Sixers story goes deeper than just building a scary roster. Because before we talk about what this team can become, there's one thing about LeBron's career that makes this entire move feel even more extraordinary.
10th year is just like, damn, that's actually is dope. When you're 39 in your 20th year, and then it's like when he was in his 14th, 15th year, I was just like, when he's a 17th, 18th year, it's just like, damn, that's actually is dope. When you're 39 in your 20th year, and then like half your life is in the league, and then you played against like 40% of the players that's ever played in the league, it's just like, that longevity has to mean something. That has to be a standard. Like, if you really truly want to know what greatness is like, of course you can accumulate championships in a short amount of time and accolades in a short amount of time. You can have a nice, quick spurt of moment, but like, I truly appreciate somebody who's been in that shit for a long time.
I got to tell you something, so this is sacrilegious. I grew up in the 90s. Michael Jordan broke the Knicks' heart. He broke the Pacers' heart when my man Mark Jackson was there. He created this basketball culture. Jordan shoes, $6-7 billion business a year. But if we're going to stick to the conversation that we talk about accolades and body of work, LeBron's body of work is second to none. It is second to none.
It is. This is his consistency is showing up, and that got to mean something.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
He showed up, and that's why I appreciate Bron.
LeBron James didn't just join Philadelphia. He may have created the NBA's most terrifying puzzle. One former NBA star looked at the move and immediately called it a brilliant move. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. Because look at the pieces. You have Tyrese Maxey, one of the league's most explosive young guards. You have Jaylen Brown, a proven two-way superstar. You have Joel Embiid, an MVP-level center when healthy. And now you add LeBron James, the greatest basketball minds the sport has ever seen. The scary part? LeBron doesn't have to carry this team for all 82 games. He can conserve his body, control the offense, direct traffic, communicate defensively, and manipulate the game with his mind. He has younger players around him who can run, cut, defend, and attack. That changes everything. Instead of LeBron being the entire machine, he becomes the person controlling the machine. And that is why one analyst said he would make an early bet on the Sixers as a title favorite. But there is one player who may have changed this entire equation more than anyone else. And according to the argument, he wasn't just another addition. He was the final piece. This is where Philadelphia becomes genuinely dangerous. Jaylen Brown wasn't simply another star added to the roster. He may have been the final puzzle piece. Brown gives Philadelphia something incredibly valuable: size, athleticism, defense, and the ability to create his own offense without needing the basketball every second. And after everything Brown has had to deal with, there is another element that cannot be measured on a stat sheet: fuel. He's got something to prove. LeBron understands that mentality better than almost anybody. Give Brown an opportunity to attack mismatches while LeBron controls the offense? Dangerous. Give Maxey freedom to cut and attack? Dangerous. Give Embiid space because defenses are terrified of the perimeter? Dangerous. And then, add players such as Anthony Simons and VJ Edgecombe, giving Philadelphia even more scoring and athleticism. That's when the conversation becomes almost ridiculous. Double LeBron? Maxey gets space. Trap Maxey? Brown attacks. Collapse on Brown? Embiid punishes you. Protect the paint? Now Philadelphia can shoot. There isn't one answer. There are multiple problems happening simultaneously. And that's exactly what LeBron has always been brilliant at understanding. He doesn't need to win every individual matchup. He just needs to find the matchup that breaks your defense. And if that wasn't enough, there is another advantage that could make this roster even more frightening. LeBron no longer needs to win with his body. He can win with his brain. This may be the most dangerous version of LeBron we've ever seen. Not because he's faster, not because he's stronger, but because he understands basketball at a level few players ever reach. He can stand on the weak side and tell his teammates where to go. He can read the defense. He can identify the opponent's best player. He can manipulate the fourth quarter without having to dominate every possession physically. Imagine the possibilities. LeBron and Embiid in pick-and-roll action. LeBron and Brown attacking mismatches. Maxey operating off the ball. Brown cutting. Simon spacing the floor. Edgecombe running in transition. And suddenly, opposing coaches are staring at the bench thinking, which one do we stop? That's the nightmare, because there may not be a correct answer. And compared with other teams that were linked to LeBron, Philadelphia may have offered the cleanest basketball fit. Golden State would have placed too much physical responsibility on an aging LeBron. Miami didn't have enough shooting. Cleveland had potential questions about how the pieces would fit alongside its existing stars. Philadelphia? It gives LeBron weapons. Young legs, size, scoring, defense, and most importantly, options. But there's one enormous condition: health. Because talent can create a contender, but only health can turn a terrifying roster into a championship team. And that brings us to the most extraordinary part of this entire story: LeBron's longevity. Think about what LeBron James has actually done. He entered the NBA in 2003. Now we're talking about his 23rd NBA season.
I think Philadelphia is an extremely intriguing destination for LeBron because he would not have to carry the entire team every night. Maxey can create offense and attack in space. Embiid gives them a dominant interior presence. And Brown provides size, defense, and another player capable of creating his own shot. Jaylen Brown could actually be the most important addition alongside LeBron. His ability to defend multiple positions, attack mismatches, and score without constantly controlling the ball gives Philadelphia the balance it needs. If Brown enters the season with something to prove, that motivation could make this group even more dangerous. What makes LeBron especially valuable at this stage of his career is his basketball intelligence. He does not necessarily need to dominate physically every possession anymore because he can control the game through decision-making, positioning, passing, and reading defenses. With younger players running around him, LeBron could become the brain directing an incredibly talented machine. The comparison with other potential destinations also makes Philadelphia look like a strong fit. Golden State could have demanded too much physically from an aging LeBron, while Miami lacked enough shooting and Cleveland presented questions about how the pieces would work together. Philadelphia gives him size, athleticism, scoring, defense, and multiple options whenever a defense tries to take something away. However, I think health is the biggest factor separating this team from simply being another talented roster. Embiid's availability has always been a major concern, and LeBron is entering an extraordinary stage of his career where managing his workload matters more than ever. If those two players can reach the postseason healthy, Philadelphia could become a nightmare matchup